system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system. Here's the truth about the system that'll the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. The truth about the mind that'll fuck up your mind. That'll fuck up your the truth about that'll fuck up your the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll
warning, 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 warning.
Truth about the that'll fuck up your the truth about the that'll fuck up your truth about the that'll fuck up your truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind.
Warning, 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 warning.
Truth about the system that'll
Draw, war, lords. Yo, Slapbox 52, hand combat, man down, now you getting treated like a little youth. Pearl handle, black Ruger popping up, it's the return of the trench coat mafia. You got a click, but I bet they won't die for your last nigga that fronted. I Muammar Gaddafi them, I'm busting lead in, Armageddon, God is 7, top of the dome is embedded. I said it, step in the realms and get sweated. My foes get beheaded, live with no edits, shredded. Negative thoughts about the G.O.D., you better dead it, cause that's bad credit. All night, me on the mic is athletic, high height, seeing my sight is like heaven. Firefight, fire and flights of bad weather, whatever, get it together, my neck leather. Once again, welcome to the fucking next level. Metal plus netta, stretch limousines, machine guns running up with 26 villains. Fuck everything old, we fight for the children. 10 steps raw, who want war? Raise your swords and prepare for the lords. Running around like lions in the forest, and we came to conquer the land just like Moors. 10 steps raw, who want war? Raise your swords and prepare for the lords. Running around like lions in the forest, and we came to conquer the land just like Moors. Throwing flying guillotines from Philistine, came with an illa team to run up in your castle and kill your king. I'm doing my thing, dance with the Lord in the ring, standing firm in the square like Butterbean. I'm hotter than Shambhala, draw swords before Makata. Rude boy shot for top dollar. I'm not a fake ass rapper that's not solid. I got it, to say I'm the hottest is just modest. My ass is to melt down anything, so anything in my lane, man, I'm killing it. 2 bottles of jewels, 1 spoon of ignorance. It's the vigilant spit, chemist is injuring any contender wanna act like he bigger than I. It's getting baked and fried, and that's minimum. MCs who wanna compete, I take 10 of them. Clowns in the street want heat, I got diligence, and that's how it really goes. So get familiar with it and stop looking at the motherfucking videos. Choose your weapon, my tools is lessons, true connections. Wrong draw, you lost your profession. 10-step draw, who want war? Raise your swords and prepare for the lords. Running around like lions in the forest, and we came to conquer the land just like Moors. 10-step draw, who want war? Raise your swords and prepare for the lords. Running around like lions in the forest, and we came to conquer the land just like Moors.
Let the rhythm hit him, chew him up, spit him out, get him out. Let's see if the barrel fit in his mouth. Hear the lion roar, what you crying for? I'm at the hot gates, open up the iron door. I'm the king of the jungle, so ready to rumble. Gunshots put the room on humble. I flip beats and make the words tumble, and flip bricks and I sleep on a bundle. Claiming you're off the chain, homie, I'm off the board. Dunk in your face, I'm the lord of war. I'm so much more, you bitches should never step up. I never lit up, you fuckers will never get up. Ice in my veins, ice on my chains. I'm nice in the lane, think twice for your veins. Shoot around like dice in the game, you crap out. Break your bones when I make you tap out.
10-step draw, who want war? Raise your swords and prepare for the lords. Running around like lions in the forest, and we came to conquer the land just like Moors. 10-step draw, who want war? Raise your swords and prepare for the lords. Running around like lions in the forest, and we came to conquer the land just like Moors. Murder medallions, mugs material, soul assassin, gold chain music, yeah, I'm on my trademark shit, straight spit with a full clip, busting at your stool pigeons, true religion, new with the vision, coop in the kitchen, richer than Nixon, true blue 76er, if I snap, you probably get the picture, I strike like a pitcher, your fucking hike hit ya, get with the stick shifter of files, my mind running wild off natural elixirs, and this is the final frontier of the mission, you still talking about you got holes, homie, you ain't pimping, I ain't tripping, and emphatically not slipping, but start ripping, and it can turn to something different, I ain't playing, hey yo, somebody better pay him. I might just run the spot, start spraying with the thing waving. It's kinda insane, ain't it? But nah, this is pain language. I ain't playing, hey yo, somebody better pay him. I might just run the spot, start spraying with the thing waving. It's kinda insane, ain't it? But nah, this is pain language. Yo, who's the nicest? The truth is that if it was known, half of y'all would have a middle-aged crisis. As I write this or wrote this, I think of the sacrifice it took and all the doors that was never open. And I'm the hottest thing smoking. Soak it in and get your heart broken. Look, fuck moping. I'm leaving with a bag of tokens. So try to find another ass you can blow your smoking. I'm somebody you better know. Heavyweight in the game that's busy with the schedule. And the streets told me to never come regular. Now everything I do is incredible. It's on, nigga. I ain't playing. Hey yo, somebody better pay him. I might just run in the spot, start spraying with the thing waving. It's kinda insane, ain't it? But nah, this is pain language. I ain't playing. Hey yo, somebody better pay him. I might just run in the spot, start spraying with the thing waving. It's kinda insane, ain't it? But nah, this is pain language.
Make you feel the anguish. Let me tell you what the aim is, to introduce you to pain language. You won't beat, but don't know what you started for. Call me Sun Tzu, gifted in the art of war. Talk is cheap, we don't say much. We greet him with the heater and leave him bleeding and such. You understand? You're running the man, and goddamn you ain't hallucinating like Alice in Wonderland. The pain is real and my stainless steel as a mind of its own. What's on his brain is killed. Break your jaw, we break your will. Take the boy to the VR, his blood got still. I come from the block where the Glocks pop constantly. We the real shit, you bitches are wannabes. What you wanna be doing is getting out of here. The motto of the assassin, put a bullet in his ear.
I ain't playing, hey yo, somebody better pay him. I might just run in the spot and start spraying with the thing waving. It's kinda insane, ain't it? But nah, this is pain language. I ain't playing, hey yo, somebody better pay him. I might just run in the spot and start spraying with the thing waving. It's kinda insane, ain't it? But nah, this is pain language. You know what I'm saying? Get your hands out off. But still in my nigga. Let's drink. Get your hands out off. Still in my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Shit is real. Still medallions in the atmosphere. That all is crack around. Still past that. Yeah. Alright.
Planet Asia. For those who know, they know. You know, yeah. Welcome to the Machine Lies, where we talk about the lies of the machine on the machine that lies. And yeah, we're continuing a special series. You know, not to be outdone by our constant, coverage of the architectonic worldview in terms of Western learning, right, including the Bible, right, the dialogues of Plato, right, the thoughts and views of those thinkers who formed the worldview known as secular humanism, right, and the various occult traditions, right, that influence philosophers, right, sages, right, politicians, right. So we talk about historical hoaxes, we talk about religious programming, we talk about philosophical intrigues, and we also talk about the symbolic spectrum, right? Now, I briefly touched on social techniques, right, in relation to mechanization on the one end, right, and also uh, the broad view of technique in general, right, and how it relates. We didn't really get into how it relates to science, right? But I gave an entire lecture series, okay, on the origins of the scientific worldview, right? Okay. I've not given, you know, I guess different areas and topics, right? But what I have covered so far has been pretty expansive in terms of its scope, right? So if you go back, I was actually observing myself. I was going back to the videos and seeing a little bit after we did the show where we had Adam Green on, and then we did the several attack videos reviewing the attacks made by Jim Bob. Right after that, we started a series called Origins of Gnosticism, Perennialism, or something like that, right? Where we explained the origins of the occult, right? And we had a lot of different good presentations there, right? And then I gave some series on the technological worldview as well, right? So I put in lots of different um, themes and ideas, and I haven't counted up how many hours of presentations I've done, but ever since that series, Origins of Gnosticism and Perennialism, right? And I'll show you guys exactly where that is, right? Because this is actually important to realize, right? Where my because a lot of these live streams are just I open them up and then they were experimental shows with the open panel, right? So let me show you guys this here real quick, right? And yeah, Annapurna is going to make some tea. Sounds good. Yeah. So here we go. With this, if you go to the live page, right, you'll see here this page here, and there you'll observe, right, 11 months ago, right, origins of mythicism, perennialism, Gnosticism, and Hermeticism. So after this begins, each one of these shows begins with a 2-hour presentation, right? On almost all of them. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of material there, right? I'd say that's like about 50 shows there. And then each of those shows have 2-hour presentations in the beginning of them, right? So that's about 100 hours of solo presentation material, right? That goes over philosophy, history, and of course, I brought in tons of primary sources and secondary sources in order to discuss all of those topics, right? So yeah, so there's a lot of stuff there, right? Okay, and it's not just in the first 2 hours, right? But that's generally where my own solo presentations are during those various shows. So there's quite a bit of material. I'd say there's over 100 hours of solo presentations of just myself speaking on topics of history, philosophy, religion, right? So if you're wondering what my views are on any of those topics, I've given expansive presentations, right? Very expansive presentations on what my own views are, my own ideas on the issues, what my inspirations have been, all of those different things, right? So okay. All right. But here we're talking about responsibility versus rules, right? And also the idea that goodness is only found within the sense of the community or the social sensibility, right? Even though goodness is based on personal responsibility and not on following rules, right? It's also based on a social awareness, right? So this is basically the ideas of Confucianism. Confucianism is a social technique that's over 2,000 years old, right? And why are we talking about Confucianism as a social technique, right? It's because it influenced a huge swath of the world, and we're talking about China, Korea, Japan, especially, right? Okay, big cultures throughout the world, right? Okay. Yeah, that's right. I spoke my truth on a range of issues, right? You know, I've provided stark conclusions on a number of religious, philosophical, and historical issues. Okay. And I've presented my reasons for doing so, right? Okay. Through different avenues of research that people can perform and demonstrate on their own using the same materials that I've selected. So it's not a mystery to anyone, right? And we've had open challenges on any of those topics and issues, right? Those challenges have not been met, right? All right. So it's fascinating stuff, I mean, right? But yeah, we do thank the 15 people here now joining us. You know, we know this is kind of an impromptu stream. We know we don't usually do streams on Tuesday night, but we started randomly to go ahead and start doing these streams, you know, to provide extra material also because we did not appear maybe 2 weeks ago on Wednesday or something like that. So we're filling in extra time here, you know, from the time we've missed, and we're trying to move a little quicker because we're moving through Confucianism, right? And its effects on society, right? Now, Confucianism was not always the predominant view in China, right? Okay. It took about 100 AD for the emperor in China to start making sacrifices to the to Confucius, right? Okay. Okay. Now, in Confucianism, there's no deification of the master, similar to the Buddhist idea, right? Now, three major thought systems exist within the development of Chinese thought, right? Okay. And those would be Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism, right? And all three of them, right, have their own value systems attached to them, right? But the amazing part about Chinese civilization is that it combined all of these three views together, right, for centuries, right? It was able to combine all three of these together into a socio political and cultural system, right? Okay. So in Chinese thought, several social techniques are available to us, right? And Confucianism is the top one. And I said within Confucianism, there's this idea, right, that one has to follow principles, right? Now, principles and ethics are different than rules and prohibitions. Rules and prohibitions are found through the formulation of laws and statutes, right? Okay. What these have to do with is about people making laws. A law is a admission of a mistake, right? Okay, it's something that we use to stop people from doing something, right? But what are we to do, right? What suggests to the people what has to be done, right? Values and ethics, right? And principles. Okay, the people need values, ethics, and principles to guide their regular behavior when they're not breaking any laws, when they're not subject to any laws or prohibitions, right? They need something to guide their higher nature, right? In order to function within the society, right? What is that going to be, right? Okay, well, we need some type of way to come to agreement within a society, right? Okay. Now, the best type of agreement is unanimous agreement between all parts of the society, right? Okay, and Confucius thinks that societies need hierarchy, right? Okay. Okay, there's hierarchy within the family, right? And there's hierarchy within the government, right? Okay, and if there's disorder within the household, there's disorder within the state. Okay, these things are inextricably linked, right? Inextricably linked, right? Okay.
So that's as another common theme among Hinduism,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
and also, believe it or not, the Hawaiian religion
Yeah.
that is based upon family as a fundamental unit of societal stability.
Yeah. Yeah. Islam has a lot of that too. You know, the family is a key metric um of the health of a civilization. You know, is that you can perfectly gauge the health in the society, right? And a lot of different uh views that are based in religion have that, right? Now, what's funny about Confucianism is that it's more of a socio-political, you know, uh, extension in terms of philosophy. And instead of being more focused on metaphysics and cosmology the way the Tao Te Ching really is. I think maybe Confucius may have conferred to a lot of other thinkers, especially the Zhao kings, right? And the Zhao kings followed, right, essentially a monotheistic religion, right? Okay. That was based on the idea of Shang Ti, right? Shang Ti was basically God for all intents and purposes, right? Okay, and they have their own revelations, and this cosmic figure, right? Basically God, right? Is mentioned within Confucianism, Taoism, right? Within many different Chinese texts, right? Throughout time, right? So there's this idea of this great entity, right? Okay, that's without form, without name, right? Yeah. So So, the whole idea comes down to this essential concept, which is that you know, and this is ties back to something I said earlier, is that one notices that what one wants to preserve in a society is hard to come by, and the rules, right? Okay, or a system only perpetuates, okay, what can be done, right? It doesn't actually look for a greater vision of what has to be done, right? Only principles can fulfill that notion, all right? That greater notion, right? Now, when we come
Yeah.
to, yeah, yeah. So when we come to society itself, right? Okay, okay. When we come to society itself, right? It's about harmony between the different parts of society. Now, somebody's got to be in charge, right? Okay, somebody's got to be in charge, right? The reality is that we need leadership, right?
The most
And it,
perfect reality would be everyone is in charge of themselves, but we're not in that dynamic,
yeah,
unfortunately.
we're not in that dynamic. Exactly, exactly. We're not in that dynamic. We're not even close, you know. So the fact is that there's people who are better at doing certain things. We have to defer to those people. If we can defer to those people, right? If everyone can defer to whoever does the best job within a society, right? And we could form harmony between the different levels within a society, right? Right? And goodness
Mm.
isn't found on its own. It's only found within a society. Okay, there's no
Correct.
goodness on its own. You
It
know,
couldn't exist in a vacuum.
yeah, it couldn't exist in a vacuum. Right, right. Not in the Tao Te Ching, not in Confucius. Right, right. In the Tao Te Ching, right, right. True goodness is not aware of its own goodness. Right, right, and is
We
therefore truly
need
good.
we need one another to bounce our ideas off of to make sure that they are indeed good. Like otherwise, how could like we could speculate all day, but if we don't have someone else to reflect off of, we will never know.
Yeah, yeah. So and there's and the problem with systems is that they force agreement, right? Okay, okay, they force agreement, and what tends to happen is that even if everybody doesn't agree, right, right, a decision is made, right. So this is what the system seeks to perpetuate. The system is there to create a process that can make decisions for us, right? It's the machine that speaks for man, right? This is what is the autocratic state, right? Right. But when we have principles, right, that outline what we are to do, right? Because a law is simply just an admittance of a mistake, right? We have to go back to our principles, okay, and a vision for what has to be done. This vision, right? Okay, now people don't have any vision of what has to be done, but they do have
Not
code.
even for themselves.
Yeah, yeah, they do have a reliance on codes and laws, right? Okay,
Yeah, dude.
so they
Yes.
understand the limitations, but they don't understand, what there is to be done, right? So that's a huge problem. It's because there's no principles, right? There's no vision for the people, right? For what has to be done. There's no moral vision, right? So in other words, what we need is principles, right? We need greater principles, right? Okay, we need greater values, right? We need a greater vision, right? Right. And it's just like joy and pain. Pain can be, it's like I was talking with the antinatalist, brother. He was saying that, pain can be felt everywhere. Pain and joy are unequal. And, you know, and joy, is fleeting. It can only be felt in a certain part, right? But that impartial goodness, right? Incomplete sense of goodness that we have, right? Is better to exchange for that complete sense of decision making and finality that exists within the system, right? Because it cannot make decisions for us at the end of the day, right? So that's the fact is that we need greater principles. Now here in Confucian thought, right? He has it laid out there, right? Right. He says the gentleman wishes to be slow to speak but quick to act. Right? Virtue is never solitary. It always has neighbors. Right? Okay. Right. Right. We can't just wait for decisions to be made on behalf of us. Right? We can't try to plead with the system, right? And make everything about communication, right? We have to act on what we know is right. And when we do it, we have to do it for the sake of others, not for the sake of ourselves. Knowledge is not found for the sake of ourselves. It's always for the sake of others. That's what virtue is about. Knowledge for the sake of itself is evil. Right? Okay, never trust someone who seeks knowledge for its own sake. I mean, that person's probably a swindler. Don't trust a philosopher.
Correct.
Who is who is unkind to his neighbor, but talks all day about how great the Tartars are. Right? Be wary of the philosopher who devalues his own neighbor and talks about the Tartars, how great they are. He can't even treat his own countrymen with respect. I mean, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean we're inundated with reasons to disrespect ourselves and our neighbors. And it's so difficult. The most difficult thing, the most thing that is lacking is to speak well of those that actually are there with you and to speak well for those who support you in general. Like, I'm obviously not talking about you. I don't even make that disclaimer. Like, this is the world we're inundated with. Everything is shit. Here's why it's shit. Here's all the reasons you need to escape this reality. We Are Awake TV with Ian and all this bullshit. Like, to escape the reality. How about you embrace the reality you're in, accept your circumstances, and let's build out of this fucking place together. Like, that's the only way. Like, we're here together for a reason. We've been here for years together for a reason. We have to build out. If we don't, we're stuck on whatever level we are as individuals. That's the reality, unfortunately.
Yeah. Over here it says, one of his students asked Confucius about one of his students, right? Yes, is Zilu good? The master replied, I do not know. Mang repeated his question. The master said, in a state of 1,000 chariots, Zilu could be employed to organize the collection of military taxes, but I do not know whether or not he is good. What about Ranqui? He says, in a town of 1,000 households or an aristocratic family of 100 chariots, Ranqui could be employed as a steward, but I do not know whether he is good. What about Zihua? Zihua. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's Zihuaa. Okay, so that's what it sounds like to me. Zihua. Okay, but yeah, standing in his proper place at a court with his sash tied could be employed to converse with guests and visitors, but I do not know whether or not he is good, right? So he goes over each of his students, right? Asks whether they're good. He tells him what task they would be good for, okay, within a state, right? Meaning that goodness only exists within, okay, society. Okay, goodness exists within the values that we implement within society. People's value is as good as what they can do for their country.
It's not what my goodness could never come from me being good to me. It has to be being good to someone else. That's where the energy flows through. Like you have to make a physical connection, a societal connection. Otherwise, it has no value.
Yeah.
And you could sit there and you're not. I'm not saying you are. And I don't want to lay out too many disclaimers. I'm going to say a lot of yous. And it might seem I'm not. You could sit there and talk about this and that all day long, but until you stand out and do something and speak forth and what you can't even begin to build the building blocks to the society that needs to happen. And so many people sit in silence in the background, afraid to speak unless they are playing a victim to someone else. It's fucking shameful. Like, I don't even want to get into it. I'm sorry.
Machine, does it specifically say country?
Yeah, it says state.
I wonder.
It says
I
state.
wonder how it must have been written in Chinese. I'm sure, but
It says state, town, court. So he's making political, social, designations. So that's the point. Is that he's tying goodness. He's tying his notion of goodness to all of those things, right? So his response to goodness.
But at the time he's writing, the state is a monarchy, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. The type of state that he would want is a monarchy. Yeah.
Irrelevant of what the state was at the time, what you said there was the societal good, the communal good, the common good that we can do and deliver before one another. That's
Hi,
all. That
how are you?
What's up, Noel? What's up,
Nothing.
Steve?
No.
What's up?
Okay. I'm doing good tonight.
Yeah, good stuff.
My front teeth are big.
It's ugly.
Yeah, so so it's fascinating. The idea of goodness not being a personal quality, even though personal responsibility instead of rules is the guiding notion, right? Because it's not about people making laws and prohibitions, the whole idea, and it's not about people following their specific party or having allegiance or loyalty. No, one should have loyalty to what is right, what is true, right? And that's the best way to be a minister, right? And so there's lots of different ideas that he comes out with, and also he talks about following or looking at people's actions instead of evaluating you know, their ideas, or whether somebody agrees with you, or any of those types of notions, right? So here is one of those ideas there. He says, at first, when evaluating people, I would listen to their words and then simply trust that the corresponding conduct would follow. Would follow. Now, when I evaluate people, I listen to their words, but then closely observe their conduct. Okay. All right. All right. So keep that into consideration when you can't really observe people's conduct, right? Or their regular day-to-day actions, right? And you can only observe their words, right? That means you do not have a complete understanding of where that person stands or what that person does, right? At all, right? You know, it's some very important to consider when you interact with people through mediums like this, right? Especially, right? Here's another one, which is the negative golden rule. This is very significant, right? It says, what I do not wish others to do unto me, I also wish not to do unto others. Okay. All right. The negative golden rule, right? Okay. Ethical principle, right? That does not function, cannot function as a rule, right? Right. Or a prohibition, right? Okay. It's found through personal responsibility, right? Yet it seeks out others. It's got everything in there at the same time. You know what I mean? It's got it all there. Right? Yeah. Cultural brilliance, as a way of life, as a way of social understanding. I mean, right? Cultural refinement as a way of social understanding. You know what I mean? Perfecting ritual as a way of social understanding, right? Reliance on ritual, reliance on tradition, right? Reliance on the ways of the ancestors, right? And on traditions and rites, right? Fulfilling rites and traditions, right? Rites, rites, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's of a high importance, right? Now, society can't fall into confusion if those rights are preserved, right? Traditions are preserved. Now, one of the problems, as I suggested earlier, right, is this idea of universal rights, rights, right? That's usurping this notion of traditional rights, rights, right? Okay. These two ideas are in conflict with each other, all right, throughout time, all right?
Because one is an offering and one is like a taking, right? Like the rights is something that is kind of like an entitlement, and then the other RITE is an offering. I've also heard it described as like the relationship between the acting out, or like the actionable portion of the relationship between man and nature.
Yeah, all of those concepts are relevant. And I think the top concept that's relevant is this concept about past versus future, that the rights, rights, they come from the past, right? And they're based on the ancestors, right? And they're also based on this whole idea of preserving, right? you know, the ways of the elders, right? But these universal rights, they go into the future. They're about creating a society in the future, right? And they're about bringing everyone together through that. So they're not about your own personal heritage, right? Right? The rights that come from the past, they're about your own personal heritage, right? Where you came from, right? If you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're
Absolutely.
going, right?
Correct.
You know?
Yep.
And but yeah, I think this idea of futurism, right? That let's just hold on to this notion of universal rights and it'll lead us to universal peace or world religion or world government or whatever. That has been a destructive notion. And the number one thing it seeks to destroy is traditions. You know?
But
So that's true. That's
this
true
is
for
where
everybody. Yep.
it's like the traditionalism, like you have the right wing. The right wing happens to preserve traditionalism, the rights of the ancestors, without, but again, without even
Somewhat,
like
somewhat. It's not
with
exactly the same concept because
yeah.
there's notions within the right wing, like for example,
Mhm.
capitalism, right? You know what I mean? Like they have a strong emphasis on capitalism instead of the state, right? Right now the whole idea of you know, universal rights, right? Right, can be tied into the notions of the state, but they're certainly also tied into the notions of capitalism, right? Both of these are concepts that were invented along with the notion of universal rights. So, so this idea that conservatives, right, because they want to grow the economy, right? So they want to grow and promote the growth of science and technology, right? And a lot of times this ends up taking away people's traditions and rights and old ways of life, right? You know?
Oh, it's the most assured way of one needs to go no further back than the an
Yeah.
indigenous
Yeah,
take
yeah, they
over the
call them
European.
yeah, they
They
call them
they had no
conservatives, but
respect
they're
for
not
their
really
tradition.
yeah, they're not really conservatives. You know what I mean, right? Like
No.
maybe somebody like a you know, maybe a Amish or somebody like that, am I right? Like that person would be truly conservative, am I right? Because they would be
But,
conserving something, am I right? And
right,
the
right. Yeah,
in the
but what
way
I
of
was pointing to, I am pointing
they
somewhat
hand
to
down tradition,
hypocrisy
right?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to get into with that whole rights thing. Like I am pointing to the traditional value being that you're carrying forth an ideology. However, the right wing, the political the red and blue system, the leaving us bruised and bloodied on the street system, delivers us a system where it's like, yeah, you should respect those ancestors who brought you somewhere, and then meanwhile beating the shit out of their ideologies because the whole American forefront was built on overtaking and overshadowing traditional rights of the native populations. So it's a ridiculous balance. It's hypocrisy. It's at its finest.
Yeah, definitely.
Right wingers, a bunch of freaking rednecks that are stuck in the past, that are fundamentalists, that drink too much liquor and like to abuse their children and beat people with Bibles. And yeah, anyway.
Yeah. And Yeah, and I'm gonna skip a bunch of stuff here. About his students, right? He's got a lot of passages about his students, and I don't think that will be easily put into context, other than to say that you know, than to explain the disposition of each of his students. If you read, um, Confucius Analects, right, in his sayings, each of his students kind of represent a different aspect of his teachings, right? So they all represent. Cecil, could you mute yourself if you're not talking, because there's some type of fucking noise there? Blessings. Yeah, but yeah. Yeah, but each one of his students represents a different sort of brand of his teachings, right? Or different failing within his teachings, right? So they all have their different deficiencies, right? But yeah, so I'm not gonna be going and explaining all those, right? But yeah, but we're almost on, we're pretty much on book 6 here, right? I only read one of its sayings there, right? I think that was 5-8, where he's talking about if different people are good, right? And observing people's conduct, that's 5-10. Intellect, right? And yeah, I think I'm gonna move on to book 6 here, right? And I'm gonna try to find this one about the rivers and the mountains, right? But there's lots of good stuff here. It says someone whose strength is genuinely insufficient. Okay, he's still talking about his students. I'm gonna skip that one too. Excuse me for a second. Okay, here we go. The master said, "Who is able to leave the room without going out through the door? How is it that no one follows this way?" Right? Okay. Who is able to leave a room without going out through the door? Right? Okay. When native substance overwhelms cultural refinement, the result is a crude rustic. Okay. Okay. He's saying you could well know people's dispositions without leaving. Right? This is how it's done, right? When native substance overwhelms cultural refinement, right, the result is a crude rustic. When cultural refinement overwhelms native substance, the result is a foppish pedant, right? Pedantry, right? Only when culture and native substance are perfectly mixed and balanced do you have a gentleman, right? Okay. So you don't really find things like that, right? See, this isn't about being a liberal or a conservative, right? It's about mixing cultural refinement, right, with native substance. Right? Being a man of the people, right? Having native substance, knowing the traditions of the people, right? Okay. And having your own wits and you know, being able to support yourself, essentially. Native substance. Someone who's self-sufficient, right? But someone who has cultural refinement, right, is someone who knows where the best shit is, right? He knows where the best stores are, right? Okay, he knows what the best quality shit is, right? Cultural refinement, right? Okay, somebody who's seen a lot of shit, who's went abroad and seen a lot of shit, right? Okay. He's not tied down anywhere, right? So both of these things could be ruinous, right? But when combined, they create the best type of person, right? It's just that easy. Okay, you're playing with fire when it comes to cultural refinement and native substance, right? Right? And you can tell, right? Okay. Yeah, let's go to this. It says one who knows it is not the equal of one who loves it, and one who loves it is not the equal of one who takes joy in it. Okay. All right. Okay, so there's again the idea of actions, right? The idea of communications, right? And then the idea of thoughts being last, right? Okay. Okay, love is about communicating and expressing, right? Knowing something is just personal, it's about thoughts, right? Where joy is really to partake in something, right? All right. All right. Working to ensure social harmony among the common people, respecting the ghosts and spirits while keeping them at a distance. This might be called wisdom, he says. Right? Okay. It's interesting, he says, working to ensure social harmony. I mean, that goes with all the things I've been saying so far, right? That goodness is only found among, society. I mean, right? There's no personal sense of goodness.
Yeah, you could sit there and spout or espouse all sorts of goodness and ideologies about how to be good until you make the impact with your neighbor, your society. It makes no difference.
Yeah, and you got to go into it like the common people to do that. So, like in order to ensure social harmony, you have to be a man of the people, you know. But in order to, um, respect and pay reverence, to the ghosts and the spirits and the ancestors, right? This is a deeply personal task,
Hmm.
right? And this is a task you do to keep them at a distance, right? So that they're not always, encroaching upon, you know, our social bonds, because they will wreak havoc if we don't pay homage to them. You know what I mean, right? You know, we'll be infested with ghosts, right? So
Well, because the ghosts that those represent are the living people around us, the ancestors of the living beings around us, whose ideas were not heard and not brought to fruition during their time. Like So of course they're going to haunt us. Of course the ideas of our past will haunt us, whether they are reflections of who we are or who our neighbors were that we failed to fucking acknowledge.
Yeah. One who is good sees as his first priority the hardship of self-cultivation and only after thinks about results or rewards. Yes, this is what we might call goodness, right? So, right, this whole idea about, right? So, goodness is not like really about utility, right? At all. Right? And what's going on, Cecil? Doing okay?
I just every answer I have to say to anything that Truth or Cop says is that yeah, but red-haired people's ancestors raped livestock. like whatever you
You
say,
gotta say
dude.
grape on here, dude.
I'm
Don't you get it?
sorry, I'm sorry. Truth or Cop, why don't you call me anymore?
Because you don't stream, and I have a stream, and you already know what our discussion would be if we had one. So why?
Man,
What's so funny?
man.
Hilarious, bro.
Cecil's a racist.
I'm glad you find that funny, dude.
I was born a redhead, by the way. Probably doesn't surprise you, but so I feel like I'm allowed to say that sort of thing. But anyway,
My hair's not red, so fuck off, faggot.
I'm not colorful.
Hypocritical, Cecil. But yeah,
Sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm just, I know it's rare the sight of me laughing at anything.
yeah, I was wondering what you were chuckling at down there, little, I was saying spread the wealth, cause you look like you're having a grand old time there. But yeah,
So,
social harmony and appeasing these spirits and the ancestors, two very important goals. I mean, what's this idea here? Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Oh yeah, not thinking about the rewards, right? That goodness is actually an act of self-cultivation and not about, rewards, right? It's not about the results, okay? And it's also not about gaining status within society, even though one should pay close attention to status within society, right? That's part of the Confucian ideal, right? Okay, one should understand that people have status, right? One should understand there's harmony within society. One should understand that there's a division of labor within society and respect that division of labor, right? And have deference within the society for people who can perform tasks that we're not able to perform, right? But all these things are really important, right? But yeah. And yeah,
Well,
and I don't know what kind
it's like disrespecting someone for their position. Like I'm always the laborer, so I don't know what it's like to not be in these positions. I'm always in the laborer position, and that's fine with me. But I see myself there, and I see myself there within the scope of all these the richest people. I'm still the laborer, and I would never disrespect that. I wouldn't shit on Cecil for being a piece of shit delivery driver, whatever the fuck he has to do, despite whatever he's going through. And the fact that he feels so insecure that he has to do what's been laid out to him, like, let's not get into it, Cecil. Leave me the fuck alone. I wish you wouldn't even join the panel with me, to be quite frank. But if you will, and you want to point towards things, let's get to the bottom of it. If you want to, I've already tried to, and I'm not going to try it again.
W- Oh my God. It's no respect at all, folks. But yeah, um, you know, yeah, the master said, this is one of my favorite ones. You know what I mean? The wise takes joy in rivers, and I misquoted, I misquoted it like several times already. How about that? I reversed the wise with the good. You know what I mean, right? So here's the actual version. You know what I mean, right? It says the wise take joy in rivers while the good take joy in mountains. Twist. All right, the wise are active while the good are still. All right, see, this is why I should have whipped it out so many times. All right. See, this is why it's important to refer to the text that you have, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, thank you, Philip J. Ivanhoe. Shout out to the homeboy. I mean, the wise take joy in rivers, while the good take joy in mountains. The wise are active, like the river. All right. While the good are still, the wise are joyful, while the good are long lived. Okay. Okay, think of the river teeming with life, right? Supplying life, right?
Yeah, but the mountain brings birth to the river.
Yeah, the mountain anchors the land, I mean, right? The mountain creates the valley. The valley is seen as the spirit of the river in the Tao, right? It's all connected, man. But this whole idea that the good are still, goodness doesn't change, right? While wisdom adapts, right? Wisdom is almost like the nuance within goodness, right? That it uses to adapt to different situations, right? Okay. Okay. Powerful, powerful, powerful speech. I mean, but yeah. And all right. I think that's all I'm gonna do from 6. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see what else we got here. We might take a little break here and play some music for like 10 minutes. And then I'll be back.
Well, I mean, we've been keeping up, dude. Like, dude, it's fucking. Man, I've never read just raw text on my stream. It's bad enough, like referring to what happened in some sort of a community online. Like you're reading you're reading deep history. It takes a lot to get through, dude. And
Confucius.
I appreciate your stance. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, it's Confucius. One of
It's
the great
important.
philosophers. Yeah.
Dude, it's important.
Yeah, one of the great philosophers. 2,000 years of this shit. We'll get you a motherfucking Chinese. We'll get you some motherfucking Chinese, my friend. I mean, yeah. And that's just bare minimum for what the fuck we're juggling around here. I mean, yeah, people are talking about Chi-Cons and Chi-Cons and Chi-Con agents and all this stuff. Well, what is China? What is Chinese? Right? A lot of it has to do with what this is, right? What is Confucianism, right? That is the basis for Chinese society for so long. And if we could touch ground on what is the similar ideas, morals, ethical systems, cultural traditions, religious ideas that we could use to communicate, okay? Right? That will
Yeah,
be, yeah, that'll be
and what
centrally important, right? Because it's not just thoughts and words that we communicate with, but it's whole ideas and sets of meaning and understanding that we communicate with, whole ideas and ethical systems, okay, views of what's right and wrong that we communicate with, right? And if we don't understand those things and how we're talking to somebody, right, then it's going to be a rough communication, right? For sure. You know,
and even when we try to, we're going to be lost for communication. But I wanted to like point out to the one thing was the Cyrillic language, an Eastern language, was made by a king who, I think that's how he took power, was developing the Cyrillic language. So and that's a whole different discussion from Confucianism, but it's Eastern philosophy.
yeah, I mean, roughly to summarize, the various ideas of, in orders of importance before we take a break here, we've now spent, three streams here, looking at the history of Chinese philosophy, right, and the ideas of development within Confucian thought systems, right? Now we've spent over two streams looking at just the Analects of Confucius, which is the sayings of Confucius, right? The reason why we're doing that is we're trying to absorb and understand these social techniques, right, that created the Chinese civilization, okay, in its modern day, all right? And also those thoughts that are related to different concepts such as Taoism, right, that came before Confucianism, and also Buddhism that basically entered into the Chinese thought, right, around 500 AD, right, and then developed lots of systems combining Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism into one system, right? That spread to Korea and Japan, right? So there's lots of different concepts, right? Okay, tied in together that comprise over 1,500 years of development, right? In terms of social and religious techniques, right? Within a particular geographical scope, right? And they get us to understand the social and political programming, okay, and cultural programming and thought behind some of the great thinkers in that region, right? Okay, so when we get to the various thinkers in Zen Buddhism, right, they're all influenced by these ideas, right? When we get to those thinkers that were talking about the, ideas that developed the thoughts of the samurai, right? Right, like the Book of the Samurai, right? Yamamoto Tsunetomo, right, in the 15th century, right? You have different thinkers that are combining ideas in Confucianism, right? Zen Buddhism, right? And Zen Buddhism itself is a combination of Tao, uh, of Taoist and Buddhist thought, right? So this comprises a rough schema of how um, Eastern philosophy and thought developed over time, right? Okay. Now Confucius and a student that came 100 years after him called Mencius, right? They developed the major ideas within Confucian philosophy, right? So we're just giving a brief overview of Confucian thought, right? That will then be used to serve as a background, right? For our discussion of Taoism that came before it and also Buddhist philosophy, which this is a the major emphasis or excursion within this whole series of presentations will be Buddhism. There'll be like 8 or 9 presentations on Buddhist philosophy, as opposed to just these few presentations that we're giving on Hinduism, Taoism, and Confucianism, respectively, right? Because they all function in the background of how Buddhist thought develops, right? Okay,
And
as I just
and
explained.
dude, first
If
of all,
you are
I
interested, sorry, Truth Cup, just a moment. I started doing like the original 4 Veda streams on my channel. So if
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
people want to know about Hinduism, they can have that resource.
Yeah, we'll definitely play some of that at the end of this episode here, and show you guys the series that we're doing at Annapurna's channel, where we're taking a deeper look into Hindu philosophy. So the whole some of what we covered and a lot more of the deeper stuff is going to be available on our channel. So we're going to play some of that, and yeah, we're definitely excited to see where that goes, in terms of taking a deeper look at the Atharva Veda, which is some of the practical applications of the teachings within the Vedas. So it's very, very interesting stuff for sure.
all I wanted to say was if I were born in the West with this type of perspective on what the Western religions were, I would much appreciate it. The fact that you're the way you're laying out these Eastern philosophies applies to me and most people in the West. It gives us a deeper perspective that we wouldn't even get otherwise. So it's weird how when you look in a reflection you can see it back, the angles we can see.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, here is this link for Annapurna's channel here. Give me a second, guys, and I'm gonna start a musical break. But yeah, the main emphasis is Buddhism, because Buddhism is the one thing that goes to both types of Asian people, the brown ones and the white ones, right? And it covers different types of even Asian people, right? Like Koreans, Japanese, and Chinese, right? So yeah, you could learn a lot about these different geographical regions by studying the history of Zen Buddhism as well, right? Seeing how Zen Buddhism has its own particular expression within Korean culture, right, within Japanese culture, and within Chinese culture. It's fascinating stuff. I mean, and that's why when you learn about these major thought systems, right, you could learn so much more minor details about various cultural expressions. About you learn bits about the language, right? You learn like little terminology and stuff. So you learn about the cultural setting, the geographical setting, historical facts about who's the leader and who's in charge and all this type of stuff. Like just in learning about Confucianism, we learned about the unification of China under Shi Huangdi, right? We learned about the religion of the Zhao kings, right? How they had this whole monotheistic religion, right? Going back to 1500 AD, I mean BC, sorry, right? Okay, so there's all of these ideas, right? And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and
And as foreign, before you get that, but as foreign as they might be, they're more similar than even what we were raised with. because of the perspective you bring. Thank you.
Yeah, and my friend Neuro was saying he said it's funny the way you covered Confucianism. We couldn't tell if you supported it or didn't support it. Well, that's kind of the point, isn't it? Right? It's just to have make people think for themselves. I mean, yeah, here is some music for you guys, and yeah, of course, you got to look at the ideas on their own terms first, before you agree or disagree. Right? And yeah, we'll be right back.
spit hot bars, I spit on cop cars, I spit game to the chicks that belong to rock stars. Got the goods uptown to Hollywood, so what you don't like us, your girl probably would. Having a good day on the freeways, of Lose and Mercer's El Dore, listening to Ghostface. Well, hold up and let me smile for a minute while I look across the sky for a limit. Come and get it. I'ma ride this roller coaster till the wheels fall off, and I'ma ride your Cali roll until my eel goes soft.
Take a journey through the mind of a one of a kind, self-made motherfucker that's enjoying his time on land, on air, on mics and on sea. Let it all just be good times on me. It's California, fool. Flyest breezes in the world, and we can roll up a bleezy that'll make your toes curl.
And it goes puff, puff, pass, and you can kiss my ass. Oh, you didn't know? You must have missed the class.
It's sunshine one time, MCs with punchlines, hit elements on Sunday, put it on the front line.
And tell them all to make some ruckus for the fuckers in the clutches, and the soldiers in the trenches, and the wenches on the guest list. Call heaven, tell them got a situation. Merson 7 came to breakfast and left with all the
I
bacon.
spit hot bars, I spit on cop cars, I spit game to the chicks that belong to rock stars. Got the goods uptown to Hollywood, so what you don't like us, your girl probably would.
I spit hot bars, I spit on cop cars, I spit game to chicks that belong to rock stars. Got the goods uptown to Hollywood, so what you don't like us, your girl probably would.
We be the first dudes putting treasure over beats. Every measure be complete to make sure it's buried deep, locked in your memory to provide a safe keep. So even if you digging what another rapper saying, he can't break the seal, so our music keeps playing. Living legends, what I'm saying, cause I know y'all been waiting, so I open up the gate. Slug made its way in, we pimp this production as a present for the patient.
Just jump back, kiss yourself, and thank you God for your breath and your health. Life is short and all day surprise. Keep your nose clean, open your ears and your eyes.
Call me Mr. President for short, credit to the sport. Incredible in court, an indelible source, an immeasurable force. The strength of remorse, and I'm pushing metaphors just to better your course.
Here, vision is blurry, living in a hurry, no worries. You can call me Chicken Little Curry. Keep the channel spicy, flipping words like Vanna Whitey, and watch the contestants run in circles to analyze me. Here we go, Mr. Quiet Storm. Break down, take apart your heart and redesign the form. Tried to warn them, nobody heeded, so we succeeded at feeding these sheep what the party needed.
I spit hot bars, I spit on cop cars, I spit game to the chicks that belong to rock stars. Got the goods uptown to Hollywood, so what you don't like us, your girl probably would.
I spit hot bars, I spit on cop cars, I spit game to chicks that belong to rock stars. Got the goods uptown to Hollywood, so what you don't like us, your girl probably would. But baby, I'm only born in 21 and higher. You kinda young, you should settle down, tiger. Take a little time to reweave the fiber. Reach for tomorrow and let me borrow your lighter.
Yeah, I freestyle with him and them too, but they still haven't gone through what I've been through. Excuse me, what we've been through. Meaning me and you, see I'm just like you, except that I rock the mic and you work at it.com. Or maybe you're a critic trying to say this ain't bomb, but what it doesn't matter, cause I'm still Mercer, you're still veteran. This is my verse and I'm talking to my listeners.
I ain't never heard that atmosphere before.
Spreading through sound networks, check on my clockworks, taking time to complete artwork, cause we're gonna look down below, lost the sound, waiting for the lunar eclipse to move ground. Now have a look around, unison in front of gates to open, say my lungs stop smoking. Now we're ready to explore oceans, play on sand beaches, islands, remain low-key. Once there's money flowing, who's gonna turn hungry? Follow this experiment, check where my footsteps went. Pure nectar to collect, there's no jewels on my neck. We're leaving out the fake effects, just music connects. And letters were composed to protect all style survivors, defending shapes. What's left is my personal state and lost tapes, reflecting stories from work to leisure. Unison's got 360 angles to measure, bringing pure pleasure.
Took time to develop my pictures. Took time to develop my pictures in dark rooms. Took time to develop my pictures. Took time to develop my pictures in dark rooms.
If sound's overcooked, it doesn't taste right. We're leaving competition down below waist tight, getting raced by chased by. Wanna be images, they're pretending to float high. So we're gonna be running it down to the bottom line. It's unnecessary to fake the fun, cause we're living in galleries. Meeting relatives, pentags and lavatories. Pure fatness, but why you saving calories? Unison got triple trademarks of quality. Cause I'm the one talking, it's my voice that you're hearing. Directions I'm walking, my choice of steering. While drinks have been running, we'll have crews watching. At all times, we're gonna try cause we're aiming to be on point in every single situation. I woke up the next morning a dried out patient. Plus don't give me any of that vital information. We're getting lost like radiation and we're still staying patient.
Took time to develop my pictures. Took time to develop my pictures in dark rooms. Took time to develop my pictures. Took time to develop my pictures in dark rooms.
I spent hours doing this, planning ramming into walls to let it twist. Adding extra special liquids, running it through mechanics. Machines and valleys, only them valleys. When the proofs will be solid, tested to be the freshest. We're leaving crowds restless, ladies senseless and soldiers defenseless. Harmless range of weapons, something to step on. Time to bring that vibe that's long gone. Stick that bubble gum and it's sun-dried. Like walking streets late July. Headed by the glorified, I can see through my two eyes. Straight from my nerve center, something to remember. Let's stick with all the way, down to December. Unison's got charisma, enough to trap up. Now we're mixing combinations like sweet and sour. Still arising, out of self-made structures. Up in thinking kitchen, mixing liquor.
Took time to develop my pictures. Took time to develop my pictures in dark rooms. Took time to develop my pictures. Took time to develop my pictures in dark rooms.
I saw war.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, you like that
Better
atmosphere?
take that time to develop your image, dude. Motherfuckers. Better take time to develop that image. What was that second? The first one was Atmosphere. I never heard that one before. The second one was what?
Yeah, Hot Bars by Felt. That's Murs and Slug, you know, the group that made, you know. Yeah. You know, it says, eyes blurry. I'm living life in a hurry. No worries. You can call me Chicken Little Curry. Yeah. But yeah. Blessings. Thank you guys for joining us. And yeah, we got a substantial amount of people still in the house. And I appreciate you guys for being here. Green Diesel, Dean Laurent. You know, we got Reddington out here. Jason Skoll, a heavy hitter. You know, we got the Pinal Network. You know? Oh
I
yeah.
saw he might be making a is that Sean? He better be coming back. I hope he's around.
You know this gentleman. You're familiar with this gentleman.
Well, is that not Penile Power? I mean, the Penile Network, right? Who else would be rocking that name, dude? It's
I don't
Sean.
know. I think it's
I hope.
different. No, that's no Pino Power is somebody else, I think. Yeah,
It's not a
Pinal
fucking El
Network.
Perro puppet, is it? You El Perro bitch ass slave. I cannot believe you're here. Dude, get in the fuck. Dude, I'm not
El
bringing up.
Perro. El Perro's a real deal. Why you got a problem with El Perro for?
He's a real deal. How? What's he ever delivered? He ain't delivered one fucking receipt.
He's delivered here.
Bullshit.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Receipts about what? What specifically are you looking for?
Any one of the 93 cases he yelled about for fucking 2.5 years that I had to fucking hear about. Any one of them. He hasn't delivered a single receipt on one of those. I'll deliver El Perro. I'll deliver you. I got at least 9 receipts.
You want legal
Yeah,
details?
I'll give you what I want. I'll give you what I want. Right here, I have a bunch of tickets. I delivered these on Brian O'Shea's already. Here, this is the back side. You might even be able to read some of my personal information if you were to like really focus in on that. El Perro, one of the 93 cases. Let's see some fucking receipts, you little bitch. You ain't got shit, dude. I got
on
Cecil,
camera.
you are on thin ice
With
too.
a horse, a chicken, a goat. You deliver one time, Wizard. Livestock of your choice.
Me.
You can deliver one time. Truth or cop on camera with whatever
I
farm
need it.
animal you choose.
All right, folks, settle down. Settle down.
I
got
need
Void-
documentation, Wizard. I have it here. I have
All
my
right,
documentation.
settle down, Truth or Cop. Settle down, Truth or Cop. You're getting a little too excited there, pal. Voy, nice to see you. Sloth Bear, blessing, sir. I'm glad you joined us. Joe Mills, good. Flip City Magazine. I've never seen this account before, but I'm glad you joined us. Thank you for watching.
I was in their chat recently, actually. I don't know how they meet. I think they have something to do with Woo's News. But
yeah, they may have watched that one episode we did together recently or something like that. They
I
may have
just
randomly
like,
clicked on your
yeah,
channel.
they're obscure. It's weird that they'd be around. That was something. They've been here for a moment.
Yeah, look within. What's going on? Peace to you, sir. All right, everyone else. Good to see you guys. And the random other ghostly individuals that are watching. Whatever you are.
That looks like a table napkin with the coffee stain that you showed.
Those are police officer tickets. This is more than El Perro has ever shown. El Perro's
It's nothing like that.
El Perro's never shown the back side of his tickets, let alone the front side of his documents. He's a little slave bitch. He won't come up here. He's done chatting already, isn't he?
I don't think he's here. I think you're not talking to anybody.
You pinned his comment earlier.
No.
Yeah, he was here. He was. Yes, you did. You did.
Yeah, but no, but I mean, I don't think he's here now. You got to go look at the. You know how to do that, right? You go look in the chat.
Sup, Red?
Yo.
Yeah, let me see.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point of coming on here and talking about how you have 93 cases over and over again and then jumping in someone's chat and then not showing anything? I don't talk about how many cases I have. I don't talk about shit. If you're going to talk about it, show it. If you're not going to show it, then shut your fucking mouth is my fucking point to this El Perro.
Like, if he shows something, you just be happy.
Oh, I forgot.
That's
There's actually no link anyway, so let me Let me check real
Like,
quick.
what's the deal?
No, Reddington.
El
I
Perro,
don't
El
talk
Perro.
about. I don't
He's
talk
not
about
in
how many
chat.
cases. There.
He's not in chat, Truther.
Yeah, I get that.
So I
Yeah,
wouldn't bring it
whatever.
up.
I
No, the
understand.
Reddington. No, you leave me hanging. You know what I'm saying. You know let's argue about it. Let's go. All I'm saying is I wouldn't say
Argue
it if
about
I'm not
dumb
going to bring receipts.
shit.
You'll want to feel like you got something out of hearing about all that shit for all this time. In other words,
If
I
he's
mean,
going
it's
to
like all that
if
stuff.
he's going to continue on like an expert, yeah, I would.
If you were ever to actually do any of that shit, go to a judge and be like, "Hey, is that a Jolly Roger, maritime law, all the stuff that he talks about?" If you were ever to get away with that shit, you would not be bragging about it in public.
Unless you won, and if you won, you could provide receipts. And after 93 cases, that is a quote from this motherfucker, El Perro. 93 is what he says over and over again. You would have this, the back of a police ticket.
A napkin with a coffee stain is what I see.
Whatever you want to
We're
explain
being
it as.
gaslit.
Whatever
We're being
it's even got
it
sugar.
depends. It depends.
I added sweetness that day. I can smell it on
Some are larger than others, longer, lengthier than others. In my opinion, anyway.
Oh, there's not a single scratch of writing on it. Reddington, come on. Look at that sheet.
Oh,
this
that's
is the
What is
back
that?
end
Old
of the
fax
ticket. I'm
paper?
telling you. This is the back end. Do you want to see the?
That
I'll
looks
give you
like
what.
a fax paper.
I think I agree with Anna. I
There you
think.
go.
Oh, never mind.
Okay,
I guess
all
we're
right,
wrong.
all right. The first
This
print.
is the back side. I'm giving you the back side.
The hell
All
did
the
you do?
front
It's a
side
long-ass
has
ticket,
my
man.
name printed 4 times on this one. This is the longer sheet.
What'd you
This
do?
is the
Like
one I showed
speak
on
to
Brian
the moon or
O'Shea.
something?
Oh my god, you have it like
You
a
speak to the
bed.
moon and get a space ticket.
I got a space ticket.
With your time traveling. You need to calm down, sir. You need to calm down.
You need to understand the facts of this reality so that I don't have to calm down for a moment. Damn.
How much is that ticket, man? Like $1,000? It's long as shit.
All of these combined are at least 1,000 for sure, but they haven't, dude.
You need to calm down, sir.
No, but they got, dude, me and them I drive regardless of not having a registration, and my license expires on my birthday next year, which is very soon. And they already said it's expired in New York, and this is what I'm dealing with. They haven't actually done anything to stop me beyond what I've allowed. Thank God. Praise the Lord.
They didn't put any like interest on
But
there.
that's not an honorable way to deal with it.
How is it not honorable for me to travel in my property where I want to go?
Ignore a ticket, I mean. To ignore
It's
a fine.
not honorable to deliver someone a piece of paper on the side of the road that if I wanted to respond to this piece of paper, which I've tried to do in the past, I have to service it through a service provider like the sheriff or somebody who's going to provide a certificate of service. The documents were delivered. There was no certificate of service for these. And that's why I have yet to be to court one time over this whole thing that I've been showing the whole time. And it's been almost a year at this point.
It's very strange. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, send it to a collection agency or company or something?
Yeah, usually
collect
they
on that,
send-
whatever your
they
fine
do
is.
that, Reddington, and then eventually they'll send the sheriff to your house to deliver the collection notice.
No, because because we're still here. We're still here. I have yet to be proven guilty of anything because I do not respond. I do not honor that position. It was not served to me. If I wanted to service a rebuttal to them, I would have to pay a sheriff some nominal fee, maybe $25 or $50, to service whoever is challenging me, which there is no one on the other end. That's why I continue on. This has been 12 years for me.
No, it's either the state or the county
Dang.
that issued the ticket. That's who's on the other end.
Did you guys get your faxes? You guys took all those, the jabs, and you wore your masks, you'll do it again.
I thought you said facts. Never mind.
Yeah, that's what
It's
I
all
said.
the same. It's all the same. It's all the same. It all ties in the same thing.
So wait a minute. Somebody
Tickets are one
told
thing, dude.
you- Somebody gave you citations on your own property that said you were breaking traffic laws or some shit like that. Is that what I hear?
I can read them to you in order. This one was operating motor vehicle while using a portable electronic device, which means touching my phone.
Yeah, texting or at least touching your phone.
Operating unregistered vehicle was the second one. Operating without inspection, the third one. And failure to proceed in produce insurance documentation, the fourth one.
Yeah.
All of those are actually like the last time I got pulled over, none of those were even the issue. Like, even though this officer and I have been going back over a decade, it's the same thing I deal with in the Panelverse. It's like as if Cecil came up beside me and said, "Hey, where's your documentation to be doing this?" I mean, fuck you, Cecil. You're the biggest piece of shit in this Panelverse to begin with. What the fuck am I dealing with? That's what I'm dealing with in real life. I know what I'm dealing with, and it's all good. This has been.
Is that animal in your passenger seat vaccinated? I'm gonna need to see the paperwork on that.
I don't have any animals anymore. They're all dead. Except for the flying squirrel that decided to live in my attic. I'm trying to make friends with that. Actually, speaking of which, I'm going to go give it some food. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to give it some food. I'll be here, but I'm going to jump up. I'll be listening. I'm giving my squirrel food. Fuck off.
Yeah. I bet you're giving it some nuts.
This tree rat.
Yeah, well, I'm probably going to wrap it up very soon. I didn't plan to be here for that long. And yeah, this is just an introduction to tomorrow's stream. You know, tomorrow we obviously plan to do a stream. You know, we do one on Wednesday and Saturday, and we wanted to read and introduce some of those concepts about Confucianism into the you know as a barrier, that introduces people to tomorrow's much bigger expansion of some of the social implications of those ideas, right? So yeah, he's got lots of interesting comments. Yeah, I think that's Cecil's phone. But yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for being here. Maybe I'll read a little bit more if yeah, but Cecil, you'll have to definitely mute yourself. I mean, you're upside down now, by the way. But yeah. But
What
yeah.
the hell? Maybe turn the screen off
What
too.
the fuck? Please, this is terrible.
Still Halloween in this at this point. But yeah, we're on book 7 here. We got Upside Down Cecil. And I may go ahead and read and fill in some of these ideas. He says, I transmit rather than innovate. Now, this line alone, I want to read from 7:1 because it puts together a greater idea, right? He says, everything he teaches, he ties together on a single string. So not only is there connection and integrity between each part of knowledge, there's no compartmentalization within the different aspects of knowledge, right? But the knowledge does not have to do with developing a new methodology, right? It's not about innovating in terms of design, right? But it's about using what's already been done, right? In order to transmit, right? Transmit rather than innovate, right? So this idea of being, these two ideas I always talk about, central to my own understanding, okay, of knowledge in general, right? that knowledge does not progress, right? There's no progress within knowledge, right? Okay. All right. And also, right, there's no separation within knowledge itself. There's no compartmentalization within knowledge itself, right? Right. But knowledge is infinite, right? There's an infinitude within knowledge, right? There's an infinity within plenitude, a oneness within relations, right? And you can think of organization in terms of relations, okay? And you can think of you know, I guess you know, that each thing has its own, you know, I guess knowledge attached to it, right? But that knowing is not separate from the thing itself, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting. Comes around and takes TML's channel serious nowadays. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
fuck
for
off.
sure.
It was
Yeah.
never that I didn't take it serious. There was inner drama. TML, we can go back into it. I'd be happy to address it, but it was like a ridiculous conflict that developed for no reason, like on
Nah,
either one of our
we don't.
parts.
We don't need to rehash that stuff. Let's get on with Confucius. And
Well, I
Seven.
Yeah,
remember.
dude, for sure, dude. Well, then
Well,
if you want, but Confucius is more important. But if you want to, I'm here. I'm not running away.
No worries.
no, I know what's happening. Yeah, I'm aware of things. Yeah, the master said, remaining silent and yet comprehending, learning, and yet never becoming tired, encouraging others and never growing weary. These are tasks that present me with no difficulty. All right. That I fail to cultivate virtue, that I fail to inquire more deeply into that which I have learned, that upon hearing what is right, I remain unable to move myself to do it. Okay, and that I prove unable to reform when I have done something wrong. Such potential failings are a source of constant worry to me. Right.
Hold on, I don't
Right.
want to be unable to reform myself. Do I need to reform myself? Let me know.
Somebody who really knows, somebody who has knowledge
Let
of
me.
self, right?
You can
Understands
count me.
his
Type
own
me out now.
limitations. Somebody who has true, you know, can only attain to true freedom, right? Understands his limitations in terms of what desires and limitations he cannot control, right? So that he doesn't force those through in his actions, right? Freedom plus desire minus control or willpower, right, attached to it equals self-destruction, right? That's the formula, right? If you have desires that you can't control and somebody gives you freedom along with that, you're going to use it to destroy yourself, right? All right. So freedom is a limited resource. Freedom itself is a realization of limitations, as we have constantly said, right? Otherwise, it's licentiousness, right? And actually, he mentioned licentiousness earlier, right?
Does that
Right.
mean inertia or like stagnation?
Licentiousness is like
Oh,
uh,
licentiousness. Got it.
yeah,
To
yeah,
take license.
yeah, exactly. To take license, yeah, you know, yeah. And yeah, it's a negative aspect of freedom, right? It's a freedom found from avoidance of the law, right? It's the lowest type of freedom, right? That's a low type. We don't want that type. That's the dirty freedom.
And what, despite the fact that I shared all those tickets and was said what I said before, I am only seeking the Most High law. That's
Yeah,
why
right.
I'm able. That's all. That's all I'm seeing. I'm not avoiding any. I'm not avoiding what I think is the law.
Yeah, that's
I
why I
know
think
there is
Chicken
no law
Cop,
there.
like some of what I said earlier probably resonated hard, because you're going with that whole thing of principles and laws and all that type of stuff, right? So yeah, definitely, you know what I mean? You know, what can I say? You know, big baby balling. Um, yeah. So yeah, self-awareness. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That the highest virtue is self-awareness, awareness of your lack of virtue itself. All right. That is the highest virtue.
That's it.
Nobody,
That's I think that encompasses so much.
yeah, nobody's perfect. I mean, right. So that's the highest sort of virtue. I mean, right. We're
But
almost,
then in realization of, like you're saying, that in the awareness of the imperfection we become more perfect, right? That's what was being
yeah.
said.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and then,
And simultaneously, that's the biggest hinge in Christianity is you will never be perfect, so you need Jesus' salvation. So,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's definitely similar to that, because Paul has so many verses where he talks about not following rules and prohibitions to their letter, and finding the spirit, in the law, and also having this whole idea of you know, not trying to put yourself above others. Like he talks about, like, these people who consider themselves super apostles because they follow Jesus and they perform, like, the law and all this stuff. And he's saying it's not really about all that, right? It's about finding humility, and about lowering yourself the way that Jesus lowered himself, and all of these kind of concepts, so he comes down to this idea where he's actually putting himself down in a lot of the letters. I mean, right? It's very interesting. There's a self-deprecating quality to some of the letters. I mean, right?
For sure.
I mean, right? Yeah.
Like one of the main ideas is entheosis, so that's part of it. To how's John the Baptist say? Decrease so he increases.
Yeah. Raised to be lowered.
and but then you see the opposite of that, where that is used to lower those who are trying to raise themselves, so they get beat down. You're a sinner because of this. You're a sinner because of that. You're a piece of shit because of this. You should really subject yourself into this ideology because this is the only way to get through your type of sin. And we have to develop an inner compass at a certain point. And we're already given that. We actually just have to come into recognition with that inner compass. It's not that we have to develop it, it's already there. But we do have to then use that compass to develop higher visions, like the song you played earlier, to develop a higher image. Like, give me some space while I develop a higher image. Like, that's what we're all aiming to do. But we don't even know, unfortunately.
Yeah. Rely upon virtue, lean upon goodness, explore widely in the cultivation of the arts. Okay. And cultivation of the arts is all about this whole notion of cultural refinement, which is a central theme within the Analects, right? And also virtue, right? Virtue and simplicity is this other theme, right? But harmony within the society, that comes through cultural refinement, and reliance upon others, right?
But yeah, but that becomes a limitation too. It's like that. It's the balance. It's like our inner compass versus our societal relationship and our cultural influence at a greater scale. Like we're trying to see ourselves the highest we can through that inner compass without seeing ourselves too highly. We hold ourselves back or hold others down. And it's like a really difficult balance because there's no guide. There's no, the reality is we're about to come to a much better understanding of what that means than our ancestors ever laid out. That's what we're here to do. But we have to do that, in my opinion, for me, by like getting back to my ancestors and really respecting them and where they came from before I move forward. Because I have to love myself fully. That's where I came from. If I don't love them, I can't love myself. Jesse Lee Peterson, forgive your mother and your father. Shout out JLP crew.
Amazing. And yeah, this is the last one I'm going to read. And then we're going to shut this boy down. And I appreciate the 28 people that are watching. Go back and rewind the tape. We've been here for 2 hours. We'll be here for many, many hours tomorrow. Talking about many of these things, right? Confucianism, right? Hopefully we'll be finishing the reading of the Analects tomorrow, right? And we can move on to the Book of Mencius, right? Where we'll be expanding on some of these ideas and concepts, right? Okay. Then we're going to be taking a switch over to Taoism, one of my favorite philosophies on the entire earth, right? Is the Taoist thought, right? Both the Tao Te Ching and the ideas of Shang Tzu, right? They're going to provide a very, very appropriate guide, okay, base level for our exploration of Taoist ideas and concepts, right? Taoism is one of the most important philosophies, in my opinion, right? Okay. I think it's got, Sun Tzu's a Taoist. Definitely. Lao Tzu is what we're going to be reading. Lao Tzu and Shang Tzu. Book of Lao Tzu and Book of Shang Tzu, right? All right. And some of those are very short, right? Shang Tzu is pretty long, right? So you won't be able to get through all of that one, right? But we'll read a significant portion of that, right? With the Tao Te Ching, we'll be able to read the entire Tao Te Ching. No problem. You know what I mean?
What about the Art of War?
The Art of War is a little long. I mean, right? It's not that long. If anybody's ever read it, right?
Yeah, that's one of the few. I haven't read many books because I'm kind of.
I've read that one.
I've read that. I've read that one. That's Sun Tzu.
Oh yeah.
So Sun Tzu, Lao Tzu, and what was the other one?
Sun Tzu, Lao Tzu, and Shang Tzu.
Shang Tzu. Oh
yeah.
What does so it's TZU, right? So what does that mean? Son?
No, I
No.
think it's an honorific title.
Mm.
You know, yeah, but I don't really recall what it exactly means. Right? Maybe we'll get to the bottom of that in our reading. You
I'll
know,
look into that for sure.
yeah, maybe Ivanhoe will have a little answer in one of his introductions here. You know, but translation that we're reading, we'll actually pick up a couple translations of the Tao Te Ching, right? And as we discussed, Taoism had an effect on Confucianism, on the development of Confucianism. So that's important. And of course, all of these things are 500 BC. Now, it takes almost 1,000 years that Confucianism has an effect on Chinese society for Buddhism to enter into the Chinese world view, right? So yeah, you know, it's fascinating to think, right?
Dude, that
500
sounds aw I love the
AD.
lineup, please. I think we're all looking forward to that one,
It's a
dude.
crazy, yeah, it's a crazy lineup. You know, see people like Alan Watts, when they teach this stuff, they know this stuff already, right? Right. See, he knows that that you know, that Buddhism was influenced by Hinduism, you know, that Buddhism spread to China, and then there it was influenced by Confucianism and Taoism, and the whole Zen Buddhist tradition is a combination of Taoism and Buddhism, you know, that spread to, you know, Japan. You know, he knows all of this. You know, they know all of this. Right? They're aware of this. So
Yeah. And they
you know,
play
so the
dumb on it
fact that,
too.
yeah, of course. Of course they play dumb on it, right? Because when they're promoting their version of these ideas, right? They only mention it in one of their little books there, that their version of it developed.
Actually promoting theosophy, right?
Yeah, exactly. That they're promoting some new age version of it. Right. You know, they only mention that in one little portion of one of their books, right? But you have to read really between the lines, right, to understand the historical development of these things. And then when somebody espouses a school, you understand that, you know, where in the timeline that school developed, right? And how their ideas are different from the other schools of thought, right? You know, so, you know, it is what it is, right? But you know, people think they could just click on a YouTube video and it's tell them something about Buddhism, right? And of course, they can pick from any versions of Buddhist traditions and just tell you whatever they want. Right? There's the truth behind it, right? So expansive, you know, so many different countries and traditions.
But then fabricate also, like fabricate entire.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention like the. Oh man, I wish Ezra was here. But I looked into what she showed the other day. That photo of a double-headed, what I believe it was eagle.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah, and that was a work of art. I looked into, and that was a work of art commissioned by a king in 1300 common eras. And so, like, if someone commissions a double-headed version of a deity or a sentient, what was like a sentient eagle, that's how it was depicted, that these races had sentience. You know, there's a race of sentient monkey beings, the Vanara race. That's where the Hanuman belongs to that race, and that in the Kali Yuga these races disappear also, and only, you know, humans and animals are, man and beast is left, but these races aren't there. Now I know a lot of like a lot of Christians believe that's genetic miscegenation and completely out of the question. But for better or for worse, you know, there's demons and also like deities, but there's also sentient like animals that have speech and stuff. So this is this eagle god that she brought up is a sentient eagle, and not a god. Like, I mean, yes, there's an offering given, but it's like a I don't know, like I guess like you would respect it as you would respect a unicorn if that kind of a beast were to even exist. That's how you'd respect this sentient eagle. And someone commissioning it double headed doesn't mean much. I mean, it might have to do with bilateral symmetry or something to do with the symbolism of the seal of that particular king. I mean, there's a variety of interpretations on why he did it, but that doesn't change the so-called canon, you know. So like this appropriation is what I'm trying to mention. It's like it's kind of like appropriate, fabricate seems to be the formula. And I'm not saying Ezra is doing that. I'm saying like then it kind of like filters out into the mainstream. Like Blavatsky did that with the secret doctrine back in the day. But Alan Watts contributed to a lot of this misinformation and disinformation with regard
Oh
to
yeah.
Eastern. Yeah. See, and then like that suddenly a piece of art is used to extrapolate a theory that there's a double-headed eagle god within Hinduism, and there's
But
like
well,
the new
okay, this is like I kept holding my tongue, but you brought up 3 times the double-headed eagle god. In the book in the Bible, again, Ezekiel sees the 4-headed the one has the face of the eagle, one has it's a quadruped, it's a quadruple-faced entity, it has all these sorts of eyes, and the artwork, like you're talking about an eye being just like a singularity, and we talk about the singularity of these phones trying to tie into the singularity of reality. An angel is just the representation of an angel as it was laid out in the Bible is simply just an entity with eyes in many different dimensions, and it's in several faces. And you're talking about Eve. I believe the eagle was also Eve. To have a double-faced Eve is weird. That is odd.
You like trying to symbolize Lilith as well or something.
Right. Yeah,
No, I'm talking about Ezra had brought up a Hindu, supposedly a Hindu god last stream.
Mm.
And it
Not
wasn't a
saying
god,
that
I was
Lilith
trying to say.
Obviously, Lilith isn't in Hinduism, but
yeah.
No, but that's where my mind led me to as well with Reddington. Like
Well,
a
maybe that was
double-minded
the
Eve.
parallel she was trying to draw with having brought that up within so-called Hinduism, right? Because it's not really from Hinduism. And then like saying, I mean, I'd really like to see, but she was also claiming that Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent in Mexico, was like depicted as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy in paintings somewhere in the Mayan pyramids or something like that, or the Aztecs. And I've never seen that, and I've visited a lot of ruins. And I've always heard it misinterpreted as a dark.
If you were a European in a Mayan ruin, looking at a picture of what you thought God was, you would see your own reflection looking back, and that's the story you would tell. And that's like what they would say to their predecessors. Like when I was walking through this
But
ruin,
the Europeans that colonized Mexico weren't blonde hair and blue eyes. They had black hair because they came from Spain. That was the point I was trying to make. And plumed serpent was misinterpreted as bearded male, and indigenous people don't have hair there. Like Mexico, all of South America, Central America, they don't have much body hair or beards. So they like the Spanish convinced them to accept him as Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl is never represented as a man. Is always represented in every ruin as a serpent with feathers. But the Spanish managed to convince the natives that it was a bearded man.
I'm really hung up on this perspective of the feathers, and I can't find the TikTok on it right now. But when I saw some artists portray what they saw the angel in the book of Ezekiel as being, each feather, like a peacock, like how peacocks have the eyes of the feathers. Each feather was an eye seeing into a different realm. And you could, the way they illustrated this was so clear. And this is how we see the angels coming to us, because they represent themselves in multiple realms, and we are limited by our own perception, by what we can perceive. So we might see it as an eagle with a bear face or whatever, like, or we might see it as a two-faced eagle. But we'll see feathers everywhere, and we will see these eyes peering into different dimensions. When we really focus on what those feathers mean, what those faces mean, it's all the different representations of the ways the eyes peer into different realms, and they see across the 5D dimensions. And this is where I get fucking lost, dude. I'm talking about time travel. Y'all think I'm fucking joking. I wish. I'm looking for, like, how do I get back to this timeline? Like, what does this timeline even mean? In that regard, when you have eyes peering into so many different dimensions, we have them right now. We have them in our pockets. These phones, they bring the perspective in from every different dimension of a human being that exists on this planet. There is a set of eyes. Often now there's 4. Like on my phone, there's 1 facing me and then 3 facing the other way on mine. But then that's just what I carry around every day. So you're talking about an angel, a representation of, like, back then, before they had technology of a phone that had 4 different eyes. Back before we had 4 different eyes, before we even conceived of we developed a technology that had 4 different eyes. They're trying to conceive of what this means in reality, and they can only share it through the animalistic and humanistic forms they've seen and understood. And now we're getting to a different time frame where we're just like, totally, this is intergalactic. It is like we are entering the 5th dimension time frame. It's already happening. The timeline's already shifting. So how do we manage all that? How do we see all that? How do we perceive all that? How do we get to where we need to be within that? How do we focus on our inner vision with the Most High God within us to get there? That's all I can ever get to anymore. That's all I have.
That's quite a monologue, sir. And I think that'll be a good place to bump this up into the Ethernet.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, of course. No worries. We got Cecil with the Book of Mormon.
What the heck, Cecil?
What's your closing statement, Cecil? We're gonna go around the panel here, right?
Mormon girls are stalking me now, dude. I was at the library, the same library, and dude, I mean, this girl is freaking fine, bro. Her and her little understudies are always with her, or like. And then, so I was leaving the library for the second time in a row. We were both happened to be leaving the library at the same time. And she's like, yeah, she was like reading to me from the Book of the Mormon. And I was like, yeah, well, there's like the greater Apocrypha and the lesser Apocrypha. And apparently the Book of Mormon has like different books in it than both of those. And I was like, well, I would be interested in learning how, the Book of Mormon plays into the whole scheme of the greater Apocrypha and the lesser, what it is relative to those. And then
She has like strawberry hair and blue eyes and shit. I think she said she's from Denmark or some shit, dude. I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm gonna have to hold
Wow.
strong to my heathen pagan ways or whatever and resist the
Strawberry
world.
hair, huh? Is that the color or the smell? Or
Strawberry blonde.
oh, okay. Yeah, I've never seen that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's like reddish
yeah.
blonde.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, and I pulled out Reagan, dude. I was like, "Do you guys ever get on YouTube?" And they're like, "No, we're missionaries. We're not allowed to look at that. We're only trying to spread the word of the Lord." I'm like, "Okay, well, this is girl over here on the Transform in the Darkness channel, and yeah, I only love her, not whatever you're trying to sell me or whatever the fuck. Like, leave me alone. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's all I'm trying to say.
For
If you
sure.
haven't seen Transform in the Darkness with Reagan Keeley, you should go check it out.
Yeah, for sure. What's this device you have?
This device is a
Shaving his head.
Oh, okay.
multi-head shaver for my head.
Excellent. Okay, well,
Yeah,
thank you, Cecil. You have a blessed night.
freaking vibrates.
Yeah,
Woo!
thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, okay. Have a blessed night, brother. And yeah, who else do we got here? Annapurna. You know, what do you got for us?
Thanks. Thanks for the opportunity to join in.
Of
And
course. Anytime, sis. You know, you have a blessed night for sure. You know.
you too.
Yeah, thank you so much. Blessings.
Same here.
And you know, Truth or Cop. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, I'm still here, man. No, I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course.
And also, thanks for jumping on my panel there for a moment earlier.
Oh yeah.
Dude, bro, you have a way of like laying it out, and this is fuck all you got, whatever, dude. They can say whatever they want about my wrists. I already get it. It's the fucked up thing about fucking being too in tune to what the fuck you're saying is that you hear the voices ringing back and it's like, damn, dude, I can't even like shake my wrists in the air just casually. I can't do it. Anyhow, thank you for being you, bro. Be well and continue onward. Great work, dude.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the freak. Yeah, definitely. Strong monologue for sure. You're in yeah. Yeah, Mormon girl. Flash. Uh-oh. Got the G string out. Yep. That'll do it. Yeah, definitely. Strawberry hair, huh? It's hard to resist for sure. But yeah, blessings. Okay, we also got my friend Reddington. You know.
Confucius say, squirrel leg brain.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. And yeah, that's all we got for you guys. Me and Red tonight. And yeah, I'll play some music and hopefully you guys will like my musical stylings, you know, and yeah, that'll be about it, you know. And it'll be some slower jams, you know. So I hope you guys appreciate it. And yeah, have a blessed night, everybody. Thank you guys for being here with me. Thank you for joining us here on The Machine Lies, where we talk about the lies of the machine on the machine that lies. And I hope you have clarity to see through the lies, my friends. The first step to blinding somebody is getting them to open their eyes. And the first step to seeing beyond the programming is to see how you've been programmed. And we're going to be bringing you guys a full show tomorrow, you know, night, 7:30. You know, and we got our friend Eternal here. What's going on? You know? Yeah, blessings. Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah,
You
it
doing
was
okay?
good.
Hey, how you doing? I was just about to shut this down.
Oh, no, no, no. I
Yeah,
know. You can keep me
yeah.
backstage. I actually just wanted to have a word with you real quick.
Okay, yeah, for sure, for sure.
All
Yeah,
right,
we'll
thank you.
talk. But
Appreciate that.
but I got
What's
a
up,
little
Reddington?
yeah, I got a little closing of my show, so I have to
Yo.
do that in 30 minutes. So if you stick around for about 30 minutes, then I'll be able to talk to you.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
thank you.
Cool.
Turn
All
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, blessings. Yeah. Yeah. So and would you like to tell the audience anything?
Ah, affect the technological system.
Hell yeah. Thank you. Yeah, bless.
I remember that from last
That's
time.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, blessings. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Blessings.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you guys for being here. And yeah, everybody else, thank you for joining us. And yeah, here's some music for you guys. And blessings. I mean, tomorrow we'll be back with some more of Confucians. And yeah, we're really trying to graduate to the Taoist understanding. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Taoist system has a little bit of critique of Confucian thought. They're not exactly in line with each other, right? So yeah, thank you guys. Blessings. Okay.
Who's the real criminals? Take a look behind the scenes. Corruption and greed is commonplace routine. Guess it pays in many ways to have a few schemes. Shit, I know model citizens that ain't squeaky clean. You got dirty politicians, dirty judges, and dirty cops. Everyone's on the tape, the hood's filled with dirty blocks. How we gonna save the community? They worse than us. It's like a curse for us. Police be the first to bust. Think about it. That Rico shit's no fucking joke. For them, the evidence will vanish in a puff of smoke. I've been observant. I'll never be subservient. I guess you get what you deserve in this. From project hallways to courthouse always. Some prevail, most see jail. This happens always. Speed on before you get beat on. All I need is more power, then I'ma put the squeeze on. I want more power. I'm gaining more truth. I'm gaining more respect cause I want more juice. The most influential men got influential friends. And I'ma put the squeeze on all of them. I watch y'all get fat, now I want my share. But you ain't got it all, then I want what's there. The most influential men got influential friends. And I'ma put the squeeze on all of them. They wanna see the car catch an L, it's all a setup. It's a daily operation. You know me, son, show respect. They wanna see the car catch an L, it's all a setup.
Jam is dedicated to you and your boys and your
Believe me, son, I'ma put the squeeze on them crooked cats and confiscate the gas to keep them. Hustlers convention every night at D&D. Had chicks on the strip with Trace in 83. It's nothing. That's why I know I'm on something. And I'ma stay here till I'm paid and owe nothing. They gon' take their cut, so why should not? Eliminate the middlemen who thought they couldn't die. Go overseas, make G's and bring it back to the streets. A never-ending saga when I rap for these beats. As the minutes go by, you about to get it, know why? I'm already in too deep, so forget it, don't try. Cause all you're gonna find is suffering and pain. I had enough of you, man. I'm about to fuck up your plan. So speed on before you get peed on. All I need is more power, then I'ma put the squeeze on. I want more power, I'm gaining more truth. I'm gaining more respect cause I want more juice. The most influential men got influential friends. And I'ma put the squeeze on all of them. I watched y'all get fat, now I want my share. What you ain't got it all, then I want what's there. The most influential men got influential friends. And I'ma put the squeeze on all of them.
yes, y'all. Catch me on the Ave with a blunt in the bag, dumping the tab, just about to jump in the cab. Yes, yes, y'all. We're doing it big. You can catch me on the Ave with a blunt in the bag, dumping the tab, just about to jump in the cab. You know. Yo. I bomb atomically, paint stains like Ali G, probably the hottest commodity. With other people's property, I could be wet and it's over. The joker of the deck, a few more checks, I'll be the next Lord Finesse. Wild as fuck, each a little freestyles up like fuck it. I come on more hotels than ice buckets, like and I love it. Private in public, I'm not to be fucked with, ever. The naughty-headed terror, got my shit together, like some different weather. Hot one day, wet the next. Bricks to the Bronx, my spit get a mixed response. What the F y'all want? I serve you like a restaurant. My tip percentage I earn to the neck like sideburns. The rap Gregory Peck when I like Sherm. I got peeps like swap meets, infamous murder music like Mobb Deep. Got more beef than Bizarre eats on dark streets and dark clubs. I use hard drugs like spark clubs. To the point when I do a joint, I forget what my part was. On one, I get songs done. You think not, you got the wrong one. I'm from New Jeru around the way, with dudes all day. Just catch me on the Ave with a blunt in the bag, dumping the tab, just about to jump in the cab, you know. You know. You can catch me on the Ave with a blunt in the bag, dumping the tab, just about to jump in the cab, you know. It's that same shit.
Oh yeah, show is. Jump out, then I'm chumping the tab. Driver look around for something to grab, then I'm busting his ass. Took off avoiding the long arm. Smoked the trom till it's all gone. Called up the bomb squad. Told them we was making some raw songs. Slapping squares up till they oblong. Guard. My antidote's deeper than a canyon go. Slamming your head into granules. Swifter than a phantom go. Can't stop me, top speed, Mach 3, cock deep. Tame in the drive Maserati. About to hit a shopping spree for drum machines. Pummeling you bumbling underlings who cling to my nutsack. Get the fuck back. Industrial rap to crush you into succotash. You can't touch my flag. You can't capture the rap scourge. They ass backwards. That's word to the motherland, Africa. Free you all from the government thugging it. You'll never get to pull your embezzlement of my treasure chest. Better settle for less. Nevertheless, Sir D's will be through it. Evil people to burn your cathedral. I do it Thames way. You see a mainstay. You can't get away. We can read your brain waves.
Just catch me on the Ave with a blunt in the bag, dumping the tab, just about to jump in the cab, you know. You know. You can catch me on the Ave with a blunt in the bag, dumping the tab, just about to jump in the cab, you know. It's that same shit.
Who you been around, nigga? Chain snatching, mighty gone motherfuckers.
Alejandro.
Bird. Rock Moss with Skull. Brownsville in the building. Sean Nice. Yo, they call me Sean the Scared harming ya. Fuck that, they call me Sean the Scared alarming ya. Sean the Vet warning ya. Sean to grab the crumbs and bomb medulla oblongata. Now the nigga that you know flow is ill the word to mama. I'm in a whole different space, call it Andromeda. Battlestar Galactic with the ratchet Abu Lama. Understand, nigga, the flow ill. You should know by now, nigga, Angela Bofield. No jerk, I blow perp. Captain America logo in front of the low shirt. You can't sell drugs with no work. Manicured fingernail, niggas did no dirt. Nigga, respect my conglomerate. Before I run in your crib, some tech to your mama shit. Time for change, get the fuck off Obama dick. P for president, nigga, I know a lot of shit.
You just a consumer. Fuck out. One Ruger, son's a shooter. None truer, the bum chewer. Lines and hooks, real and tuna. Shines a book, lives are took, you die sooner. Y'all manure, why try and tutor? Put knives through ya. We got guys from Rooter to Tudor. That's dry humor, we don't buy Puma or drive Cougars, but my tools the size of a tuba. I'm the futurist, no lie rumor. Try and maneuver when I fired a bazooka. Child abuser, mama was a user. Slum crack, wasn't a good shooter like a Hoosier. Overachiever, blood spill over a liter. You get rolled like a Peter, overachiever. Chrome heater, low, no Tigra. My bone feeder, she fetch it like a golden retriever. Snow, let's go, finesse the flow. Fresh dress from head to toe. Let them know, on with the show. We used to play the corner for dough. Rain, hail, snow. Let's go, finesse the flow. Fresh dress from head to toe. Let them know, on with the show. We used to play the corner for dough. Rain, hail, snow.
Hey, what's this fucking guy doing? What are you doing? Right now, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. Yes, sir. Put change to his cup. Weatherman. Where's that weirdo with the fucking kazoo? Hey. Sharks in a dunk tank, vipers in a garden. Locusts stole the groceries out the local farmer's market. All God squared his whole position. Some are violent, some are victims. Each alive is an equal and vital piston I support. So when the piranhas on New York, my daddy long legs dangle to mangle for sport. And while I bring in every dink in the kingdom with open wings, it all boils down to them shit-soaked pigs. The pigs, the dregs of what y'all aim for. The gluttonous muddy stomachs under the pudgy cake hole. The two-track brainiac views in the food and payroll. That chew up and consume every cookie, crumb and peso. And place a globe and hoof on a lucrative one convenient as the bourbon odor. Smokers cough, smother off the cohiba. If Noah had the benefit of hindsight on his ship, he could have snatched 2 unicorns and left behind the motherfucking pigs. Goddamn pigs, pot-belly pigs, punch-drunk pigs, take money pigs, loudmouth pigs, white-load pigs. Let's make a deal. When all the wolves in woolly wigs huffed and puffed and blew the bricks, the skulls of Brooklyn's cruelest pigs will rain on Fulton's newest kicks. As mulish swine of all surrounding counties stiff the gruesomeness, we pass around the pineapples and pull the pins in unison. I will gladly feed you to the breed who wants you sacrificed. No pagan or sacrilege, just bacon for scavengers. I will gladly seat you with the chickens, not the passengers. Hopefully the crack in his armor spreads to his avarice. Never that, Wilbur's multiply quicker than triples and 100 triples and fistfuls, but it was all bells and whistles. Bougie this and bougie that. War pig or pussycat. Glitzy to the pork ribs, had the gold leaf the booby traps. Powder pink, double-breasted mess of mud and money waddle off the fire to make a stubborn tummy roggle. And while I don't really know the working details of your tribes, I know that that's one ugly fucking tie. Asshole pigs, goddamn pigs, pot-belly pigs, punch-drunk pigs, take money pigs, loudmouth pigs, white-load pigs. Let's make a deal. Apple in his mouth, maraschino eyes, party like the butcher boys, Cleaver is alive. I'm mosey in a 16 hours of smoke in the misty winter. To see the county fair's blue ribbon winter is dinner. Then dance until the sun has kissed your blisters in the morning as the misery was dormant and divvied in crispy portions. Corporates want to lure him and whore him, or does he hoard the corporates to expand the more important forms for him? Push the mortar pestle past the ordinary orchard when the frilly border's faded as the product. Mine are yours, pig. Mine. Plus I toss a token where it go, directly to the worms who shovel shit in yellow snow. This little piggy went to the market with a target and will subsequently know the armor-piercing forks of farmers. Final words for the finer birds taking notes. I dig a chicken pig's ills, that's all folks. Pigs, goddamn pigs, pot-belly pigs, punch-drunk pigs, take money pigs, loudmouth pigs, white-load pigs. Let's make a deal.
You act smart while I act dumb. But I know some that still lay under my thumb. See, we've got issues, so we swing a fistful, whatever, trying to keep the temper down to the gristle. They like the small talk as long as it's about you. They walk that walk without knowing how to. I watch it all and You act smart while I act dumb. But I know some that still lay under my thumb. See, we've got issues, so we swing a fistful, whatever, trying to keep the temper down to the gristle. They like the small talk as long as it's about you. They walk that walk without knowing how to. I watch it all and pretend that I'm above it, but the truth is I see it, I need it, I love it.
I'm stuck with random stray hairs from ex-lovers entangled in each other's desire to stay here beyond their welcome, sharing the same common problem. Blonde and brunette, tightly knit, and I don't fit in with split ends. Didn't have to worry about them taking me for my dividends. Paid my dues spending time by myself. She was with her friends, mingling with single men. Say things like hitting skins to them, thinking it's innocent, but then giving me guilty grins. Swimming with filthy fins, knocking boots, kicking my shins. Shark infested water, torture treatments, get beat by the Timberlands. Feet are shivering, walking on cold graves. Roses lay on relationships, too impatient to die of old age.
Yeah, remember when you knew all the answers? Well, something shook until you thought you had the questions. For all the time and effort you've invested, I find it kind of funny that you haven't learned your lessons. Still guessing the whisper of the leaf, the rustle of the bitch. When there is no love, nothing makes you rich. So I give a shrug and the eye muscle twitches in replace of a hug and a lack of superstitions.
Stop thinking you don't belong here. You are where you are, cause you hardly more. The music is not gonna stop. Take your eyes off the chair, cause there's others that are under the same impression as you. How many seats will a rock bottom accommodate? One too many people who share nothing but views. Misery is willing to keep company with those who don't ever walk a mile in their own shoes. So now they swap souls, they got soul, fucking uninspired. They drop low under the fire of sky gods. It got old and now they wanna go higher, but cops patrol every single empire with tripods.
So video did kill the radio star. Now we're all so cute and drive brand new cars. We make music so you can lose your mind. We do the crime so you can do the time. Tell me who can get busy like this, man? Well, the truth is, damn near anyone can. So I'ma buy you some implants and a suntan. Let's follow the plan and get some fat off the land. Fuck this little rapper, treat me like a crook. Baby, if you knew me, you wouldn't sing my hook. You'd think I was so ugly, you'd be afraid to look. But maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get a chapter in your book. Doing fine, thanks for asking. Standing as the last man, popping bubbles and aspirin. Ready, set, action. Remove your dress so we can make a mess and hit the world with a little bit of stretch.
Let's pep talk these wings till they strengthen. Forgetting footwork, making power moves on ceilings where heads spin. That unravels a bloody crown, revealing red skin. We created hierarchy, now there are no kings in heaven. Fatty acids added to the asthma medicine. Breathing heavy at the gates makes them have to let us in. Like a zip implying we've been trying our hardest. Using everyone else's honest way of dying as an armrest. I ain't promise. Broken over dislocated kneecaps and it's harmless jokes that provoke freak accidents. Laugh at that lap dancer who strips off confidence. I live off of hope in Providence. Providence, 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 Providence.
Your communication tactics are all fucked up. Don't blame me. I had nothing to do with this.
You play the same damn records every day. No wonder you believe you'll never get away. You wear the same pair of jeans you woke up in. Keep the music coming, keep the movement sudden. I watched you dance every street of this city. I feel no pity. You laid the carpet, you made the target by yourself. Little help, now loosen up the belt and straighten up the apartment. Finish that book that you never even started. Take a look at that face that hates to look back. Set the oven on bake, take a pan out the rack. Season up your past, put it in and cook that.
Stop thinking you don't belong here. You are where you are, cause you hardly more. The music is not gonna stop. Take your eyes off the chair, cause there's others that are under the same impression as you. How many seats will a rock bottom accommodate? One too many people who share nothing but views. Misery is willing to keep company with those who don't ever walk a mile in their own shoes.